Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. We got back from Louisville from Mid-America Truck Show. Was a very good show. Really loved meeting a lot of you guys and getting some merchandise out to you guys. I know I need to get my website done, but it's coming. So some of you guys will be able to buy some more stuff on there eventually. But just cool to meet a bunch of you. I can't believe you guys want to watch me work on dumb stuff here in the shop, but you guys do. So I guess I'll keep filming some stuff. But once again, I just really appreciate anybody that came out to meet me or say hi or take pictures or buy some merchandise. It was just, I don't know, it's pretty humbling. I just feel like an ordinary guy. I don't feel like somebody that somebody want to take a picture with or buy a shirt from. So it's, I don't know, it's a different experience and it's pretty cool. So I really appreciate all you guys doing that. But yeah, it's time to get back to work. We can't be going to truck shows for a little while. I gotta get this thing done. So it's gonna make a lot of transformation this week because it not only does it have to be done, but we just need to get with it. That's all there is to it. So we left Alf with putting the doghouse and stuff in it. So you guys seen that in the last video. So I'm gonna come in here and finish weld some of this stuff. I'm only gonna weld the seams. This is something that I've learned. Instead of trying to weld this, because of the way it's angled, I'm going to weld it from the bottom side later. So like this seam will get welded. These seams here will be welded. The stuff that creates the pocket I'll weld, but like this seam and this seam and this seam, those will all be welded from the bottom side once I pull the cab back off of it. So that's what I'm going to start with for now. Going to get that done, and then once I get all that welded in, then I'm going to actually bring the original Dodge cab back over. I might actually back it in the space here and actually pull the seats out of it and the partial bit of the steering column and the pedal assembly, because those are going to end up in here. And I'm going back down to my buddy Aaron's house. He's got a steering column, an international column, because this truck did not come with one. So going to be grabbing that out of the truck he's got, so that I can have a steering column in it. And once I get the seats fitted and get that column and pedal assembly all in and get the brake booster and get all that stuff in, then we will move back here and get the back part of this straightened up. I know Jared bought a bunch of stuff at Mid-America Truck Show. He got some fuel tank straps, and he got some Hogue built fenders that are going to be the half fenders that are going to look pretty cool. And he got the mud flap stuff, and he's going to be ordering a rear bumper for it. So that'll save me on some fab time. I won't have to be building that stuff from scratch. It'll all be more bolt-on stuff. So that'll help with that, but there still is a lot of work to do back here with getting this back frame leveled out. But it's coming along. We're getting there, and it's nothing to do but get to it and get it done. So let's get to welding and just keep working ahead on this thing. Well, I got welded up in here what I can do for now. Obviously, the rest of it, I said I'm going to pull the cab and I'm going to weld it from the bottom side, and then we'll smooth out some of the edges once I do that. But we got Max out here causing a ruckus or whatever you're doing. I don't know. He's going to tear up some paper probably. But I think what we're going to do is I'm going to come outside here and get into this cab. I'm going to come help Max. So I need to get the seats out of this cab and the pedal assembly and a few other things. So I think I'm gonna get the tractor out and put this back in the barn and go on ahead and get seats and some steering column parts and the pedal assembly out of it and start with that, I guess. So let's get the tractor out and get this thing inside. Got this cab in here. Obviously, I'm going to start robbing some stuff, all the brake booster stuff, and the master cylinder stuff, slave cylinder stuff for the clutch is all coming out. The steering shaft stuff's coming out, and I'm going to go on ahead and pull the seats out of it. The seats are decent, so we're going to go on ahead and get the seats out of it. Those are actually going to be mounted back in this cab, and Todd's just going to have them recovered so they look nice. So that's kind of the plan. So let's get these seats out of this thing and some of the parts out of here. Oh yeah, also the pedal assembly is coming out of this too. What do you think, Max? You gonna help? Huh? Are you helping too? Okay, I guess he's gonna help too. So let's get to getting that stuff out of here. Well, I think we got everything out of that cab we need. I got all the steering shaft stuff. This is all for the slave and master cylinder. It's the brake booster stuff. Max is inspecting or something. I don't know what he's doing. There's the pedal assembly. Got the seats out of it. So I think that's pretty much it. This cab's still available. Anybody wants it. It's very, very clean. I mean, the doors are really nice on it. And yeah, fairly clean cab, except for a little bit of Max hair. It does come with a harness that's in the truck, and I did have to cut the tip off the steering column, so the steering column is kind of okay, kind of not. Everything's in it other than the seats and stuff and the little things I took out of it. But yeah, the hood's good on it. It's just minus a grill. This fender's nice on it. It's got headlights and stuff in it. This fender has a little dent in it there, but it's not bad. These doors are good. You know, tow mirrors on it. Everything's there, guys. So hit me up if you'd like to have the rest of this thing. I kind of want it out of my hair. So leave a comment down below or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, and somebody come get this cab, please. Also have the bed out there for it that someone needs. Sorry, words are hard. But let's get this cab back out of here to get me some space, and let's see how these seats are going to fit in this thing. Well, I got some seat stuff done. I know I didn't video any of it. I'm sorry. But front seat brackets are done. Both of them are in. On this side, they're welded in there nice and well. And then on the back, I got holes drilled through the floor because these actually meet. I cut this bracket and actually shrunk it up so it would meet the floor nice. Did the same thing on that side. So Dad showed up again today. He's over there making me some little brackets that are going to go underneath the cab. I'm going to drill a hole in them, weld the nut to the bottom side. That way, when we put these in, you can just run the bolt down through and it'll tighten it up. You don't have to be underneath there. So he's working on those. You can see this side done as well. Burn in nice on both of those. So the front seat's pretty much mounted. So pretty happy with that. And so now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the back seat. I think I'm going to make a bracket that kind of comes up as flat and then bends back down, because it's got to sit on these feet here. And then the back actually hangs from these hooks. I think they're somewhere. I don't remember where I left them out. They're around here somewhere. But I think I'm going to try to mount them to here, and then that seat can lock into those. So I'll try to video some of this. I don't know. It's just hard to get the phone in there at a good angle so you guys can see what I'm doing. But that's what we done. there's definitely going to be a lot more room in this than there is in my truck. I really enjoy the space of a 4-door, that's for sure. So the shifter and everything's in a good spot there. Everything's going to work out. I'm going to do something different with the shifter, but at least we got that to mock up. So, well, let's get the back seat in this thing. Got the seats in. The seat even does what it used to do in the Dodge truck. Leaves you room for putting stuff in there or whatever. So that's pretty nice. And there's a lot of room up here. And these seats even go back even further than they are right now. So pretty excited about that these seats worked out. So now we are going to start working on the pedal assembly and the steering column. So I got the brake booster already sitting up here, and the pedal assembly is hanging out in here as well. So I just need to figure out and locate, because those 4 bolts on the back of there go through these 4 holes here and sandwich that between the firewall. So just need to do a little bit of figuring and see where I drill a hole for that little shaft to come through to go into that big hole there. And then we'll drill the 4 holes and get this dude sandwiched in there and have some pedals in it tonight. Well, there we have it. The steering column and pedals are rough mounted. I mean, there's still, finish welding to do and some other things. So the way that I build these is I build a plate that fits this on the backside in there. You can kind of see it, kind of can't. And then I put this piece across and welded it to my doghouse, and then over here on this side against the wall. And then I then put these 2 gussets that come down to that plate that I put on here, and that's what holds the steering column. So yes, all that stuff is stationary. It won't come out, but it doesn't really need to. And then what I'll do is I'll take another piece of flat steel and come off of that piece out to these holes, and that'll also hold this other side of the brake pedal assembly. So, or the pedal assembly in general. So here's the thing that needs modified, because that's actually hooked up right now. And yeah, that's got a lot of, So usually what I end up doing is I come in here and cut these, and I give them a little bit of back slope to them. And the clutch pedal, these are plastic. So I think on mine I use the steel one out of the International. And I actually was able to reuse this same assembly. I just had to put the steel pedal in there and made it all work. So it's probably what I'm going to do on this one as well, because it'd be better to get the pedals back. I just need to make sure I got full motion in my clutch pedal. But yeah, the brake pedal's a little high. It could be down in there more too, just to help give you more room in here. But that's kind of roughly where everything's going to be. We got the seats mounted like I showed you earlier. Not a huge amount of room in the back seat, but they said it's not going to be used a whole lot for hauling people anyways. And then got our brake booster stuff under here, our slave cylinder and master for the clutch. The reservoir is going to mount somewhere up in there like that. The only thing I'm running into is my steel braided line's too short for this to reach, for the slave cylinder to reach down into where the clutch is at. So I need to do a little research and see if I can get a longer line for that. But yeah, a lot accomplished today. Pretty happy where things are at, but tomorrow's a new day and more stuff to do then. So I'm going to call it quits for tonight and get a fresh start in the morning. Well, it's another day out here in the shop. I'm not feeling so hot today, but we're going to try to push through and get some stuff done. It is raining and storming like crazy, and there's supposed to be some really bad stuff. Yeah, here it comes the rain. But there's supposed to be some really bad stuff, I guess, coming in tonight. So I hope that stays away and we don't have any issues with that. But I guess we'll take it as it comes. But for this morning, I'm got a sheet of 10 gauge here, and I'm got everything marked out for my steps for this truck over here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them and have them marked. So all I got to do is take them to my Amish buddy and have him put them in his brake and bend them where I want them. So, and then Todd wants a couple steps for his truck too. So I got those marked out as well. So that's kind of the plan for this morning. I'm going to get these cut out, get them over to the Amish so he can get them bent up for me, and then come back and continue working on the steering and the pedal assembly. And if I can get that stuff accomplished, then I might move on to trying to figure out my cross members underneath the truck. So that's the plan for today. So let's get started. Well, I just got back from getting my steps bent. There's the set for the 4-door. They're kind of upside down. They're actually exactly upside down. They're going to be the other way. Let's see. So that'll be the step. It'll sit like that. This will come up underneath the truck, and that'll be the piece to step on. So I got both those done, and Todd wanted a couple for his truck, so I got those done. But I'm moving on to the steering column. So I've kind of already got this stuff figured out of the length. So I've cut the Factory International column down, and I have the Dodge column pieces coming in through the firewall, and using the original Dodge guy that comes through the firewall as well. So that stuff's kind of hooked up-ish at the moment, and the piece that will seal it is all in there. So then what I do is this little stub here is what I cut off the end of the steering, the Dodge steering, which will go into here, and we'll connect that together. And then I just have to connect this to this. So I got this little bushing here that fits in, and that fits in there. So I'm gonna stair step that like that and burn it in there real good. And then we'll see if we can get this thing to steer tonight. This is an area that's kind of hard to video a lot of, so I'm just going to kind of explain to you guys what I did. So the pedal assembly that's in the Dodge is in here. So that's what this aluminum piece is here. And it attaches through the firewall. There's 4 bolts there and 2 bolts for the clutch. And so I just sandwiched that between the firewall. You can see the brake or the master cylinder and stuff's out there. And then once that's mounted, what I did was I welded this piece of, I think it's 3/4 by 2 in here, and it's welded to the doghouse and then over here to this other wall. And then this piece here, there's 2 gussets here that drop down to a plate that is actually right there. And it's got the bolt holes that are cut so it matches the steering column. So that's what actually mounts the steering column. And then this little piece of angle iron here bolts through that aluminum piece. It just gives that, more structure in there. So when you push the pedals down, it doesn't, ratchet that, because that firewall is only 16 gauge. So that helps stiffen all that up. So I got all that done, and I ended up unbolting the gas pedal from where it used to mount. It's still hot. It used to mount over here. And I just moved the mount to, see if I can get you a picture right there by my finger. And then I welded a little bracket on top, which mounts it as well. So now the gas pedal works, and it's actually mounted to that side, and opposed to it used to be mounted to that aluminum piece. And then I went on ahead and cut the brake pedal, cut it off there and cut it off there.
and then added this piece, which brings it down and back. So you give me more space in here. So obviously the clutch pedal has to stay up pretty high so it has range of motion so it doesn't hit, the floor pan. But all that come out pretty good. I'm pretty happy. All the seats and everything are inside, so we are fairly done for mock-up inside at the moment. So now I'm gonna maybe set one of these steps up there, see what those are gonna look like, and then work on trimming them so they actually fit against the fenders nicely. So I'll kind of do a little trim so they come out and they got a little arc around these edges. So I'm gonna work on that. Dad's been over here working on the cross member for the frame. So this is where the carrier bearing is gonna sit, is inside of here. And then we're gonna plate a bunch of this, put a bunch of plates so that just makes a nice cross member. So he's been over there working on that. Give him something to do today. But I'll show you the drive shafts in it. So the piece he's making is going to go from frame to frame here and hold the carrier bearing. We will probably end up putting another support back here just to make sure everything's nice and strong, because I did stretch the frame, because there's a mount about here where the carrier bearing is, and the next one up's the transmission cross member, which is like up here. So I don't know if there's a rule of how far between cross members, but there's about, 3 to 4 feet. But this also has the cab that's holding the frame together as well, so that helps strengthen it. But once we get here to the back, there's really nothing from there to this one, so I figured we'll put another one in here just to make sure everything's nice and strong back here. So, well, while he's still working on that over there, I'm gonna go in and toss that step up here, and we'll see what they're gonna look like. There's one step close to mounted. I got the 2 mounts up front. I got that cut pretty nice. This fender comes back to close that. It's kind of hard to do right now, but all that fits nice and tight. I got to figure out what I'm going to do back here still. Thinking about maybe cutting this and bending this around so it kind of matches the contour of the body, just to kind of finish that edge off. And then maybe bring it up and round this corner to match kind of that roundness. I don't know. But it's definitely coming together. Got a decent amount of progress done this week, but with getting back the weekend from Matt's, not really getting started till Monday, and being a little bit sick, it's kind of slowed me down a little bit, that's for sure. But definitely still moving forward. Definitely happy with the way the inside turned out with all the seats mounted. And this seat folds up and down, just like it did in the Dodge. So that'll be nice, so you can use that for storage. And now that we got the front seats in and the pedals are all mounted, obviously still have to hook some of that stuff up. And I did run into an issue with my the steel braided line for the clutch. This is too short now, so I'm gonna have to call somebody. I talked to Rick Fox the other day from Fire Punk, and he said maybe call South Bend and see if they could make me a longer hose. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to check about that. Trying to think what else we got done. Steering column, I don't know if I talked about that or not, but the steering is hooked up, so everything does work there. Still waiting to see what Jared wants to do as far as he talked about putting a big touch screen in the center there, so I'd have to build a little thing out for that and some cup holders or something. But the inside is fairly close to mocked up as far as fab work. I'll show you the cross member Dad's been working on. You'll probably see him more in the videos. Him and I are starting to do a little bit of he's retired, so he's used to do this architectural, mechanical design stuff, 3D modeling. So he's looking at getting some software and helping me design some stuff just to make, speed up my process. And we may end up getting a plasma table as well, so that we can, cut all this stuff out. And, he could already had stuff designed and cut out, and all I gotta do is weld it together. So, so that'll help. That stuff's coming. It's not obviously here yet, but that's what we've talked about. So, but this is what he has put together here. He just made a template, and this piece still needs cut down, but the carrier bearing will mount to this big plate here, and the drive shaft will be up in this area, and it'll just bolt through so that you can pull the bolts and pull the drive shaft out. But then all this will be boxed in. So you got frame piece here, frame piece on that side, and all that'll be boxed. So be kind of a neat look, and just something a little more custom opposed to just something random. So, but we're getting close to having that cross member. He's getting it, the pieces cut so I can get it welded together, and we'll get it in. Obviously, like I said, it's going here where the carrier bearing is. And then I think we're going to put one more cross member in it just to make sure everything's good and stiffened up back here. But so we got that stuff to do. I got to finish this step up on this side. Once I figure out how I want that all to look, it'll be a lot easier to then copy that for the other side. So first one always takes the longest, but those steps are going to look pretty cool. I like how these are tucked in here now, because the original steps just come out. So to have that, just the little stuff like that, to have that contour that nicer. And I think if I can get this to contour that, it'll kind of finish that corner off, so it's not just a deadhead corner. So just the little things, trying to step up my fab work and make stuff look as nice as I can. And then we're going to move back here to the back, and the gooseneck plate is going to get reused, but I'm going to cut it down. And what I've been doing in the past is I'll go on ahead and weld a big piece of angle iron in here. It'll be like that, come up and bend this way, and then I'll burn that into the frame real good, and then I'll weld a piece to the bottom of these rails, and they'll get cut off, obviously, because I don't like the way that the original ones hang out the side and they look bad. And I like the smooth frame side, so we got to mount everything inside the frame, which is not a big deal. But yeah, so I'm gonna burn those pieces onto the frame, and then that flat plate gets burned onto this, and then I usually put a cross member across just to help stiffen and give it more space to weld to. And then I'll run like 4 5/8 bolts through on this side and on this side, and that will allow this to be removable. If it ever would need to come off for any reason, it would. And then once we have that height determined, then I can use, I think this is like 3/4, maybe it's 1 inch, 3/4 or 1 inch by 2, and then this will stand up on end, and those will be my runners that'll go all the way down the frame. That'll be the main beams that will hold the angle iron, which levels the frame. So, and I'm also going to go pick up some sheets tomorrow. The guy I've been getting my sheet metal from, he usually just gets it in 4x10 foot sheets, but the problem is 10 foot only comes to about here on these trucks. And like Todd's, I had to piece that little piece on it, and I don't know, I just didn't like that. I'd rather it all be one piece. So picking up some 12-foot sheets tomorrow, so I can have a one main deck plate piece that's all one piece, and then the sides will be one piece as well. And I'm also going to do little things like close these in, close this in, just trying to smooth things up, because that stuff's staying. Just trying to make stuff look nicer. That's all. Just trying to, make it look more professional like. And then I have those cabin chassis springs that are going to go on here. I need to get new U-bolts for that, and it's got a lowering kit for the back for the drop shackles. But yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, timeline's tight on this, so I got like 4.5 weeks to really get with this thing. But my plan is to have through this weekend and this next video that you're going to see, not this one, but obviously the next video, I should have all the fab done, and then we'll do a week of blowing it apart and painting stuff, and then got 2 weeks to reassemble and wire and do all the stuff. So it's definitely going to be a push. So I need to get over whatever cold or whatever I have, so I can keep pounding away out here on stuff. Still had a decent day, but you know, I'm only about 60 or 70% is the way I feel right now. So, but still getting some stuff done. So, that's just a little update on some things. Let's see. There's a bunch of parts coming. He did get Jared bought a set of half fenders that are going to go on the front of the tires here that'll tuck down the ground and come back up a little bit. He bought a full stainless rear bumper for it that's coming. Careful, don't get sick. But got that bumper to put on the back, so I won't have to fab a bumper. That'll just be a bolt-on deal. And he's got mud flaps and stuff like mine and Todd's. So a lot of that stuff's just bolt-on stuff. And then we do have to fab up the stacks and the tank brackets. So that is something else we got to get done too next week. So going to be another big week next week and this weekend. So still plenty to do. That's for darn sure. Plenty to do. But yeah. So all that stuff's coming. And then a little update on my truck. We got another little piece from D&J. I got a billet front cover that they sent over. So that'll look nice to dress up the truck. And I did potentially pick up another sponsor at Matt's. We'll see. I haven't heard anything from him yet, so I'm not going to say too much. But could be some more pretty stuff for the motor on mine that I can maybe get done before UCC. But we'll see. Step at a time. But I think that's enough of me rambling. So I think I'll let you guys go. So appreciate you guys watching. God bless. We'll see you on the next one.